There's no such thing as coincidence in life. Let's be clear on this. You are not a leaf blowing aimlessly in the wind. Behind everything you say, why did this happen to me? It always finds me. How do we part ways? It hurt me. There's a massive force of attraction that even you sometimes cannot admit to yourself. The modern world calls this coincidence, luck, or probability, but your soul knows all too well that it's a huge lie. You sat down in that cafe just for a coffee, made eye contact with someone, and from that moment on, your life was never the same again, right? Or a conversation that happened unexpectedly on the subway, a message sent by mistake, and nothing is ever the same again. That moment, what you call a coincidence, was actually the sound of the gears of the universe meshing together. In this video, you will understand why bonds form with the same people, why certain cycles keep repeating, and how encounters that seem coincidental are actually your soul's secret choices. Watch until the end. Because once you understand how the law of resonance shapes your life, you will realize that what you call coincidence is actually the language of the unconscious. Don't think I'm going to give you long scientific explanations when I say law of resonance, my friends. The phrase what a person is on the inside is what they are on the outside is the most accurate way to understand the logic of the law of resonance. You are like a radio receiver. Whatever frequency you are on, that is the song you hear. Do you have a feeling of worthlessness that you struggle with, that you can't resolve? You go and attract the people who will make you feel most worthless into your life like a magnet. Do you have that indescribable feeling of incompleteness? You will encounter people who will never complete you. This is not a punishment, do you understand? It is the universe's way of saying, look, there is a problem here. You need to solve it. Carl Jung believed that the people who enter our lives are not mere accidents, but messengers. They are mirrors of our soul. They are spiritual contracts we signed even before we knew life. Modern society tends to reduce many of our life experiences to chance, coincidence, or serendipity. When we encounter someone who changes our lives, most people call it fate. Yet very few question the deeper meaning of this experience. What I mean is that every person who enters our lives is actually a part of our inner world that has taken shape. In other words, they are the embodiment of your positive and negative thoughts blended together. So don't say to anyone, where did this headache come from? Instead ask, which part of me called this person? That's where sincerity begins, my friend. Carl Jung, one of the most enlightened figures in psychology, had already resolved this issue long ago. Jung used to say that long before our bodies ever said hello to one another in this world, our souls had already made an appointment for that encounter. We call this synchronicity. In other words, what you call a coincidence is actually a secret language of communication that the universe uses to connect with you. Just think about it. Billions of people, millions of streets, thousands of possibilities. And you, at that very moment, run into that person. It's a mathematical miracle. According to Jung, these encounters are preordained spiritual contracts designed to foster the soul's maturation. So even before you opened your eyes to this world, you agreed with that person on which street you would meet, in which cafe your eyes would meet, and which pain would heal which part of you. Those challenging relationships, those abandonments that kept you awake, those painful transformations that made you feel as if you were being reborn. All of them carry the messages that your ego hates but your soul hungers for. Jung never said that the people who come into our lives are here to make us happy. In fact, most of the time, these people come to shake us up. Yes, you heard that right, my friend. Shake us up. According to Jung, this was the path to psychological wholeness. Wholeness includes the parts of yourself that you have suppressed, rejected, or ignored. And here lies a great paradox. The people who trigger you the most are often the ones sent to help you grow. They are a reflection of the unconscious feelings you are now ready to confront. You may feel as though someone has hurt you, but from a psychological perspective, they have merely brought your unresolved inner wounds to the surface. These people do not enter your life by chance. They come to set you on an inner journey. The timing is never a coincidence. The timing of these encounters is one of the most overlooked signs that synchronicity is at work. You never truly know someone at any point in your life. Some people come into your life to open you up, while others come to break you. But even this breaking is, in fact, sacred. Because the purpose of some encounters is to transform us. They come like fire. They burn everything that no longer serves us, and then they leave. They leave behind silence, emptiness, longing, but also a space we hadn't noticed before. A space where we begin to know ourselves better and slowly set ourselves free. During this pain, our ego struggles with this change. The ego craves permanence and security, but the soul craves truth and movement. That is precisely the role of certain encounters, to shake you up, to set you free. Even if the other person doesn't consciously intend it, the energy of the connection has already come for this very purpose. The pain of separation doesn't mean love was in vain. On the contrary, it may be a sign that it has fulfilled its purpose. Love has brought to light what was hidden within. Every loss is not an end. Some are merely a beginning, albeit in a different form. Jung views such ruptures as part of the journey toward individuation. When love is broken, it reveals what is out of alignment, thereby laying the groundwork for something more authentic, more conscious, and more whole. Some people love you so deeply that they accept the task of breaking you, even without realizing it. They pull you out of your comfort zone. They lead you away from a path that no longer belongs to you. They push you to be reborn. And as painful as this may be, it is a form of love. These encounters are not mistakes in your destiny, but deep alignments. And when you look at them with emotional maturity, you'll say, this had to break. Because only through that break could you build something more real. Every person who enters your life is a mirror. But this mirror sometimes reflects a clear image, sometimes a distorted one, and sometimes a shattered one. Is there a trait in someone that really gets on your nerves? Do you find yourself thinking, how selfish? Hold on a second. That selfishness is actually the part of yourself that you've suppressed, the part you can't even admit to yourself. That part of yourself you haven't had the courage to express. Maybe you're so self-sacrificing that you've silenced that inner voice saying, I should think of myself a little too. Life has brought the most selfish person right in front of you to remind you of that missing piece. You don't have to love him, but you need to see that the selfishness in him is the missing piece within you. Do you find yourself admiring someone? Do you find yourself thinking, I wish I were as confident as they are? That person came into your life because that potential exists within you too. You just haven't awakened it yet. That person is like a mirror telling you, look, you have this quality too, it's time to bring it out. Do you ever find yourself in awe of how well some people can express their feelings? Do you ask yourself, why can't I be like that? Maybe you never felt valuable enough to express your feelings, because you were always made to feel worthless. Your feelings weren't supposed to be spoken. Remember Jung's famous saying, those who are unaware of the power of the unconscious mind attribute everything that happens to them to fate. This saying sums up life, my friend. We say with our conscious mind, I want someone who's truly honest. But if our subconscious holds the belief that I'm not worthy of love anyway, everyone will cheat on me, our subconscious turns on its radar and goes out to find the person most likely to cheat on us. Then we sit there and cry, this is just my fate, it always finds me. No, they aren't finding you. You're attracting them to yourself. Actually, even if you're not aware of it. You're the one doing it, my friend. The only way to break this cycle is to have the courage to look into that mirror. The people you call accidents in your life are actually messengers who have come to shed light on your dark corners. They are not enemies. They are guides holding the pieces of yourself that you have yet to discover. Even though it may seem as though we live in different worlds, we are all part of an invisible network. If someone's words change your life, that person plays the role of a trigger in your spiritual contract. Modern society tries to isolate us and explain everything through logic, but on a spiritual level, we are all serving one another. There's no logic to that message you received by mistake, that meaningless conversation you had on the subway, or that stormy love affair that turned your life upside down. There's a feeling, and that feeling whispers to you, there's something here. See it. This person is the key for you. Never forget this. When you change, your resonance changes. When your resonance changes, the messengers that enter your life change as well. Instead of painful lessons, you begin to see mirrors filled with love and inspiration. Life is not a game of chance. It is the manifestation of the reflections within your inner world. When you reach this depth, you can no longer hate anyone. You gain the power to forgive, because you know that person is simply playing the role you gave them. When the curtain falls, the souls embrace and say, "We did a good job. We've passed this lesson too." Forgiveness is the key to freeing your spirit. When you forgive, you release the invisible bond that ties you to the past. Forgiveness does not mean justifying mistakes or ignoring the pain. It means choosing not to feed what is making you sick. It is accepting that, just as the other person did their best given their level of awareness, you too did your best. True forgiveness isn't about others, it's about you. It's about the peace you choose to nurture within yourself. Gratitude does not mean romanticizing life. It means accepting it. It means looking back and realizing that despite the pain, something has changed, something has awakened, something within you has matured, even if it came with tears and silence. Some people taught you things through love, others through absence, but all of them contributed to your journey in some way. Life moves in cycles, and every relationship that comes along brings a new lesson. Some show you what love is. Some show you what it isn't. Some heal, some break. But without exception, they all shape you. And when you can feel gratitude even toward those who hurt you, your world changes. Anger dissipates, attachment weakens, and the heart makes room for something new. Sometimes it's enough to simply accept this. Thank you for passing through. Even if you didn't stay, you move on as a lighter, clearer, more whole person. Because the soul knows that whatever came arrived at the right time and left once the lesson was complete. In the end, almost nothing was a coincidence. Those who came, those who stayed, and those who left, all resonated in some way with something that was already vibrating within you. Some came gently, some like a storm. Some lifted you up, some shattered you. But they all touched something within you, and that touch changed you. They brought what you needed. Even if it hurt, even if it felt unfair, even if you couldn't make sense of it, because it moves along paths the conscious mind cannot reach. And that's why clarity often comes only after the dust has settled. The universe is about letting go of what no longer serves us and making room for what is still being built. Because the point isn't to escape pain, but to give meaning to it. You never met anyone by chance. Every person was a bridge between who you are and who you could become. Every story left a mark. This mark is not a wound, but a map. And now, when you look back on everything you've experienced, perhaps you can finally say this with quiet ease: it was worth it. Because in the end, every encounter was exactly what it was meant to be. a door opening to yourself. See you in the next video. If this video has raised your awareness even a little, liking the video and subscribing shows me that I'm not alone on this journey. Never give up on moving forward on your own path. Everything is in your hands.